YouTube is changing my life with less than 500 subscribers. G'day, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tim. I'm a writer, I'm a reader, I'm a runner, and now a YouTube creator. It is my 1 year anniversary on YouTube, and today I'd like to share the 5 things I've learned throughout my YouTube journey thus far. A bit of backstory before I jump on in here. 1 year ago, I decided to start and commit to a YouTube channel, and my commitment was simple: 7 videos. I wanted to create 7 videos for YouTube to see if I enjoyed it, to see if I enjoyed the process, to see if I even liked it. And it's a year later and I'm 50 videos in. I've enjoyed this process. I've enjoyed this journey. My lessons today aren't about how to get more views or how to grow and scale a channel or even camera gear and the things that I've used. No, they're more the lessons that I think are important to sustainably create something and to enjoy the process of the journey. So let's jump on in. And if you'll see here, I'm in a beautiful location on a river. It is very much raining and I feel really fortunate, and I'm plowing on ahead anyway. So if you don't mind dropping a like, sharing, subscribing, because I am out here and I am committed to this today. Lesson number 1, patience. This is a long game. I am here for sustainability, but more than anything, I think anything creative worth having, worth trying to do over a long period of time, it's important that you learn to flex the patience muscle. It'll take longer than you think. It won't blow up instantly. That video that you think will do really well won't get as many views as you think it'll do. And the one that you don't think will do very well will get a tremendous amount of views. There is no rhyme or reason. There is obviously creating good work because you care about it and because it's important to you. But at the end of the day, we don't really have any control over some of the elements. And it's really important that we control the elements that we can control and leave the other stuff as just noise. I'm not an expert, but I've learned that patience is a virtue. And I am flexing that muscle every day because my channel isn't going to blow up overnight. My book isn't going to get published overnight. It is work over the long term, repeatedly doing the action that leads to things succeeding. And that is what I'm trying to do, and that is what I implore you to do if you are on any creative journey of any kind. While also recognizing that the long game is incredibly frustrating and you'll want to quit and you will want to bow out, and they are all normal feelings. But just remember that the long game is what you signed up for, regardless if you realize it or not. Lesson number 2 from being on YouTube for 1 year is it taught me to fail publicly. I have failed publicly in the past on a writing scheme, but YouTube feels really personal and really real and really honest because you are standing in front of a camera, looking down the barrel of a lens, talking to people on the other side. It feels more personal, it feels like it matters, it feels real. And as I make these videos and realize that people are watching them and realize that people are commenting on them, sometimes not very nice things, sometimes they're feedback and they're genuine, sometimes I sit there and I realize my own mistakes while I make them. A few weeks ago, I filmed a video and was down and out about it for about a day because there was a light in the background over here that was flickering because I filmed in the wrong frame rate. At least I think it was the frame rate. And it just defeated me in this way that I thought that people would care. And honestly, it was one of my best performing videos. And I don't think that it matters that we fail. I think that we should fail. And I think that we are all so scared of rejection and scared of failing that we don't try in the first place. And it is time to change that. I'm sitting in this beautiful location on a river. It is raining. My camera has fallen down twice as I've tried to set this up. I'm getting wet. I thought today would be nice and sunny. I was wrong. I am failing as I'm making this, but hopefully that failure leads to something. It's a lesson learned. It's a moment in time. It is these lessons that I am sharing with you right now. That is the creative journey. That is how to sustain it. Because if you can fall in love with failing, and maybe not fall in love with failing, but if you can accept the fact that you are going to fail over the years and the journey, I feel like you work out sooner what you should do and how you want to do it and how you want it to look. And I feel like that's a really important part of the journey. So failing in front of people, but failing with my heart on my sleeve because I'm being honest and real and myself. There's really nothing like it. What a privilege, what a joy. Let's fail together. Which leads me into number 3, learn to love the imperfections. This follows on from learning to fail publicly, but learning to love the imperfections, the parts of yourself that you don't like, the little stutter that you do, the little eye twitch, and realizing that that is you at your honest self, and noticing that learning to love those parts of you is learning to express yourself in the way that you are creative. And some bits I'm trying to get better at, but I'm learning to not be as harsh on myself on those imperfections that are myself, because turning inwardly and loving who we are and who we're becoming is a really profound feeling. And for the longest time, I felt like I was trying to scrape away my imperfections before realizing that nobody is perfect, nobody is getting this right, and everyone is stuttering, taking multiple takes, their camera is falling over, they are a mess in the editing room. And that is all okay, because our imperfections are our honest selves. And at the end of the day, if I'm watching a video or I am reading something or I am talking to someone, I want you to be your honest, real self. And in the process of discovering our imperfect versions of ourselves, we step into who we are supposed to be. And this creative journey is one beautiful thing. And being ourselves is what allows us to sustain it. Number 4, learning to love the work. This one's got a bit of a backstory. I've been a writer for a long time, as if you followed this channel, you would know. And throughout that time, I have tried and tried again. I have hidden behind walls. I have quit. I have started all over again. And I've avoided the work. I'm avoiding the work because I'm scared of what it looks like. I'm avoiding the work because what if I am not good enough? I'm never going to find out if I'm good enough if I don't put in the work. And so throughout this journey on YouTube, throughout video editing and creating and trying different things, I've learned to silence the noise. I've learned to silence the noise when it comes to my writing. I've learned to silence the noise when it comes to creating these videos. And what I'm really trying to say is that Bree Lee, who is an Australian writer, shared this analogy the other day, but the best mechanic works under the hood. And to be in a place where you are creating in a sustainable way, but also creating your best work and trying things, you need to silence the noise. The best creative work, at least for me, comes from when I'm honest with myself and I am trying to make the best piece of work with the least amount of noise and people in my ears and ideas flowing through. It's disconnecting from the internet. It is taking the time to be with yourself. It's taking the time to think and then put that work in. I'm learning to love the work. I haven't always loved the work. I'm learning to love the process as much as I love the destination. And I love Bree Lee's interpretation because it offers this alternative perspective of what we think it needs to be. I think we're often caught up in this idea that it needs to be public, but the work needs to be private and we need to put it out publicly. To bring it back, this journey has taught me to love the little details, to love the rearranging or the correction or the altering and the scrapping and the crafting and the editing of the process. All that to say that I'm learning to love the work, and in the process of learning to love the work, it is silencing the noise, and that is invaluable for me. And the final lesson I have learned on this YouTube journey, and I'm honestly so glad you are still here, is to have fun. For the longest time, I took creating too seriously. I was worried about what people would think. I was worried that I needed to be a serious writer at all times. I was worried that if I wasn't saying something that I felt like was important, that it wasn't worth saying. This journey on YouTube in the last year has been fun. It has taught me so many things and I am grateful for it. But it has also taught me to live in those moments of fun, to be goofy, to be honest, to be real, to not cut out those dumb, silly moments of yourself. Because when you allow yourself to have fun when you're making something, that is when your best work comes out. That is when you get to be your most honest, your most real, your most authentic version of yourself. That is when your passion shines through, and when you are less concerned with the outcome and how it performs metrically and all of the other stuff. You tend to have more fun. I picked up a camera and started filming myself because I wanted to talk about books and writing, because I love books and writing. I wanted to share adventures. I wanted to learn some skills. I wanted to have fun along the way. And every time I have taken it too seriously, I've been humbled. I have been reminded that life's not that serious, man. And right now I'm sitting by a river, as you know, and it is raining and I'm getting wet and I'm having a wicked amount of fun. I think we forget that. I think we forget that this whole thing, regardless if it is your career, regardless of if it is time with your partner or time with your friends or time at work, it's just this made up concept. And the most important thing that we can do throughout that is to have fun. Because at the end of the day, what's the point if you are not having fun? So whatever it is that you have to do, draw back into that whimsy kid that loved reading and fantasy and the world and the details and throwing rocks in a river. I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna be making things, and I'm gonna have fun with it because I love doing this. And I'm really fortunate to get to do this, and I'm fortunate that people watch and care. So thank you for being here and thank you for watching. Anyway, they are my 5 non-conventional lessons on how to have a sustainable YouTube journey. I hope they help in some way. But 1 year on YouTube has been incredible for me. I've learnt to be a better writer. I've learnt to be a better creator. I've learnt editing. I've learnt cameras. I've learnt software. I've learnt some stuff, and it is honestly really exciting to get to learn things. And in the comments below, let me know what you think. Let me know if you've got your own creative journey and what you've learnt along the way. Let me know if you're considering starting a channel. Anyway, look after yourself, look after one another. I'll see you back here next week. Damn, man, damn. All right, time to get out of the rain.